Hello, everyone, and thank you so much to our amazing guests for being here. Each of our guests will each be further introduced when we get to their individual sections of the interview. But first, I wanted to introduce our team. We are all members of the Women's Leadership Program, either majors or minors, and this class is our Women's Studies Senior Seminar with Dr. Mary Price. This semester, our focus is women supporting women. Inspired by Women's History Month, we devised this session to bring together women on Clemson's campus to discuss three different aspects of campus life: leadership, advocating, and diversity in the Clemson family. I'm now going to pass it to Kristen to talk a little bit about the Women's Leadership Program.
In the Women's Leadership Program, we are granted the opportunity to use our voices to create change in our world. We aim to promote diversity and give women confidence to stand against the challenges we face locally and globally. Our goal is to empower and inspire women to take advantage of leadership opportunities.
Okay, so my name is Brittany Zabaris, and I'm working with Charlese Mender about talking about the diversity here at Clemson University. Charlese, I just have one question. What has your experience been here at Clemson with diversity?
Okay, so I'd say that my experience at Clemson with diversity hasn't been unique, but it's definitely been, I guess, significant and memorable. Kind of tiring, all of the things above. It's kind of a mix. I've had some very great experiences, like through student leadership and community engagement that's been renamed to the Center for Student Leadership. I think it's around the same name. I'm sorry that I butchered that, but yeah, that office in Kate Radford and all of those things with alternative student break, alternative break program. I've had great experiences there, but I feel like within like classes and coursework, diversity has been either something sought as like, oh, look, we did this, like I'm checking off a box. Or we have some Black girls, like, look at the two that we got to do this. And that's very like tiring and old for me. So I think that outweighs the positive experiences that I've had, sadly.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And are you involved with any organizations here on campus that include a lot of diversity, or just in general for women of color or people of color?
Yeah. So I think my organizations would be more of the latter. Um, I'm a part of the Minorities Business Student Association. I've been a part of Sister to Sister, which is for women of color, and creating a sense of community on campus around that. Um, I currently serve as the co-director of Paul Pantry, which works with a myriad of people. Like, it's not, you don't have to meet a requirement. You actually don't have to tell us anything. You just come in and use the resources that are available. Um, and then I'm also the president of the Omicron Phi chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated here on campus. Um, and we have a primary focus on the Black community. So yeah, those are the organizations that I am.
That's good. What has been your I guess what I'm trying to say is like your output on the things that go on here in the campus community, and how does that make you feel? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, I
Like,
think you're asking about like basically how I feel about it, about diversity and like the initiatives that have been put in place here at
yeah.
campus.
So, kind of like with the Black Lives Matter march that happened with the football team, and then also with the diversity of like Students for Survivors and things of like those clubs and organizations.
Well, I think that there are probably a number of well-intentioned people uh, or like associated and working with both of those programs or like initiatives that you listed. I do personally feel like the Black Lives Matter march parade thing was performative activism at its best. Um, since then, the university has not really done much in regards to actually building and being authentic in an effort like that. And then I think that that's even more evident in the fact that they're inviting the Tommy lady. I don't even know her. Like, I don't even want to give her that energy.
I agree 100% on that one.
Yeah. So it's like, like, how do you even expect people to take you serious at this point? Like, y'all continuously show us that you're doing things on the trend, because Black Lives Matter was a very big trend over the summer during, like, due to the pandemic and the fact that you just couldn't ignore it. But now that things are getting back, like, to normal in a sense, slowly but kind of surely, everybody's finding their way back into not caring about what happens to Black and brown people. So
yeah,
that's how I feel about that. I do oddly see that there's a different sort of energy, I feel, when it comes to other social justice issues on campus, particularly like you're naming the event for survivors of assault. I definitely think those are issues that matter, like, wholeheartedly. I just can't help but see the way that numbers show up, and, like, people are present when it's, like, associated to the football team or associated to a particular issue that may affect more white women, or not necessarily directly associated with Black and brown communities, that it's easier for you to support it or be present. And I think that that says a lot for the true feelings of Black campus, and it makes me, like, just not inclined to really follow any of the things that happen on, like, that kind of scale.
yeah, and I understand that. What is this is the last question. What is it that you wish would come out of this podcast and you speaking about the diversity in your experience and eyes?
I think what I'd like to come out of this is similar to, like, what I hope to accomplish in life, and, like, as a goal, just out of making a career out of service and, like, being true to that. I would want people to actually realize, like, being a good person requires more than just hopping on a trend when it's popular for a summer, or sitting outside for a week in the grass, if you're not going to care about it once everybody stops looking. Like, you can't truly advocate for diversity or any issue, really, if you're only a part-time person. And not that it requires your every moment of your life, and that you have to, like, show there's no checklist for actually being a supporter, but it requires more than just showing up. Like, you have to actually do the work. You need
And
to
more than a retweet and a repost.
yeah, it takes you actually understanding what that means for you, because you can't truly support a movement. You can't truly, like, be a representative or a participant in something if you can't even speak on those issues or why you're a part of it in the first place, and, like, do that intentionally. Like, if you're just, oh, I'm here because this is wrong. Okay, so what else? Like, give me a little more. What do you plan to do beyond this? What do you hope to gain by being here? Or are you just following what everybody else is doing?
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing, and we really appreciate your time, especially on a last minute basis. And so, thank you.
Wrapping it up, I would just like to say thank you for all who have taken the time to watch this podcast. I hope that you all enjoyed it, as well as learned something new today about leadership, advocating, and diversity that you can do yourself on campus, and hope that this goes forth to encourage you and motivate you to believe in yourself, to know that you can enact change. And yeah, have a great day.